maybe makes use of something that you would have thrown away otherwise. Deep cleaning our stove vent channel that I was just showing, and if you look, one of those things that you just want to eat little bits more and little bits more. Making pho. Good morning. Today I am finally getting around to doing some of the fun things, well, my version of fun things that I've been wanting to do. Our house is clean from before Christmas. I can finally relax. And I am going to be making this. This is a Numbers toner. I don't know. It's something I came across on Amazon. It's probably like a year old at this point, but it's still in good condition. There's nothing wrong with it, but I got it kind of getting pulled into, it has like fermented ingredients. It has a lot of interesting ingredients and it's nice, but I don't find myself using toner or like any liquidy serums unless I feel it doing something. And this one, I can't say that I felt it doing much other than just being a watery substance on my face. And I'm just not going to commit. I just know myself well enough. So what I am going to do is put some glycerin in it and turn it into, instead of just a watery essence with some fermented ingredients, I'm going to turn it into a hydrating, because glycerin is a humectant, so it pulls moisture in, and so it helps to really hydrate your skin. Maybe makes use of something that you would have thrown away otherwise. As simple as just pouring in the glycerin with a little stopper back in. It's actually called an orifice reducer, which sounds a little bit, I don't know, odd, honestly. But if you're buying one, that's what it's called. Just shook it up and there we go. So I'll probably just, when I go to use it, shake it the first couple of times, but this turns this into just a really nice hydrating serum. Having a little makos bagli for a snack. This is a Hungarian roll. It has makos, which is poppy seed. So it's rolled up in, it's almost like a brioche type, like it's a butter, egg yolk based dough. I made this one much thinner than usual and it turned out really pretty. One of those things that you just want to eat little bits more and little bits more. So it's something traditionally we usually make around the holidays. This is a sourdough starter that I've left on the counter for the last 2 days. I've kind of forgotten about it. So it is very over kind of ready, so I'm going to have to refresh it once, maybe even twice, to get it healthy again, because it ran out of food and it's slowly dying, for lack of a better way to explain it. So I'm going to restart this. I have a video on how I do it, but I weigh the whole thing, take it down to a certain number, add water, add flour, mix it, and I'm good to go. So I'm gonna do that right now. For this, I'm actually starting with a little bit more sourdough starter than usual because I wanna make enough to be able to do both of the types of loaves of bread. So I need about 300 grams instead of the 200 grams extra that I normally end up with. So I'm doing an extra 50 grams of each. I'm not doing very well because I'm looking at the camera instead of what I'm doing. So just ignore the mess if that stresses you out. I promise I will clean it up as soon as I'm done. So that's equal parts sourdough starter, flour, and water. I used a little bit of rye flour and then mostly all-purpose, since that's what most of my doughs are made from. I'll mix this up, leave it out on the counter until I see it growing. And then I will use this one, take it back down to my base amount, add a little bit of flour and water, and then I'll put it in the fridge to keep it for the next week or two. Deep cleaning our stove vent. This is a pretty large stove that puts out a lot of BTUs, so we have to have a pretty industrial vent in order to support it. So normally I just take these out. So these come out and they can be run through the dishwasher, and then this is a channel that captures the oil that drips down in. That I can dump out, also run that through the dishwasher. So I am going to do that today, but we're also going to go up inside and try to clean some of the oil out, which is something we've never done before, but we're going to try to wash or wipe the inside of it out a little bit as well. Let me just show. This is what it looks like. Our stove's also going to get clean, so don't mind that, but You can't really tell from looking at it. Let me see if I can. You see all the oil that's accumulated, and inside there, if you look, you can kind of see oil. That's the channel that I was just showing, and if you look, it is full of oil. So that's the oil that's kind of gone into the moisture, evaporated up, and then condensed up inside here. So we're gonna wipe out. It's just a little bit sticky. You can tell that there's just gooped on oil. So I'll take these out, do that, and then we'll show that later. Okay, here we have them. As I said, those can all go in the dishwasher. I'm just gonna run them by themselves. I have detergent. And then for this, I won't use auto because these won't really show as very dirty. Looks like I'll have to finish that run before I can do it, but I'm gonna do it on heavy. Look at how clean they are compared to how they were earlier. I am making chicken stock, and this is something that my grandfather showed me. My grandfather grew up in Jersey City during the Great Depression, so I listened to him. These things, you don't have to break them in half, but he showed me that he puts a notch, kind of crushes the bones a little bit after they've been cooking and they've softened. And by doing that, it allows the nutrients from inside the bone marrow to come out more easily into your broth. So I cook it for a while, I take them out, let them cool until I can handle it. And then in this case, I have a meat cleaver that I just keep in a box for certain jobs, such as this one. So I just go through and then I pop this back in. And then at the end, which I do anyway, I strain the soup. So if there's any bits of bone that come off, we're not drinking it anyway. But this means that we're getting more nutrients in our soup. For dinner, I am making pho, or my version of pho. So I made some chicken broth, but I took this off of it. I kind of filtered this part out before it got too strong, and then I added in star anise, ginger, some allspice, some cinnamon into this, and I let it cook. And then I strained that off, and I added some Better Than Bouillon, the beef flavored broth, and that really gave it a good rich flavor. Put in some fish sauce, and then I also added some leek because my store had no scallion, which I've never seen before. I have some lime, cilantro to put in, and some, oh, here they are, some rice noodles. Now I don't actually have the right kind of rice noodles, so I'll just have to make these work.